that the University of Nairobi henceforth strive for relevance to the society rather than simply excellence of its work. It is clear exactly what he meant by relevance to the society. However, a short 6 months later, he prevailed. The university's official motto became relevance to the society. After winning this war, he started another war which was even noisier. Now he wanted the university to be an agent of change, not a mere spectator of it. This was when people still thought this view was too radical and ridiculed as disciple-minded. So, not surprisingly, some of his colleagues, puzzled by his refusal to see that it was too radical, looked at him and then shook their heads in disbelief. Others, baffled by his inability to see that it was simple-minded, did or said little, convinced that he would fall on his face before long and self-destruct on his own without their help. He did not care. After all, his antics in the wars that he had started and won had also won him the heart of the campus beauty queen. Her name was Asia Omondi. He married her on a rainy but approving Saturday, to claps of thunder and flashes of lightning. How marriage then accelerated academic success. A professorship soon followed. After that achievement, he felt fulfilled. His persona now was complete. Had anyone told him this happiness would one day end, he would have laughed himself upside down. Okay, so up to there we have finished the first episode. So I want us to discuss, beginning with paragraph 1. What essential message do we get from chapter 3, paragraph 1?
Professor Kimani joined the University of Nairobi as a senior lecturer.
So we realize there is a university called University of Nairobi and there is a professor called Kimani. And he comes there as a senior lecturer. I don't know, how many of you know about lecturers? We talked about it the other day, right? Now, do you start as a senior lecturer when you get to a university? No. You start as who? You start as what? You start as just a lecturer because senior means you've been there for a while, right?
Yes.
Anything else? Maybe anything else shown in the paragraph about the University of Nairobi or about Professor Kimani? Yes.
He completed his study at Oxford University.
So we realized that he had been studying at the University of? At University of? Oxford. Where is the University of Oxford? Yes? In which place is it? Continent? Is it in Australia? Is it in... where is it? Is it in Europe? Is it in America? Or Asia? Or Africa? Where is it? America. Okay, what do you think he had gone to study for him to come out as a lecturer? Was it a degree, a master's, or a PhD?
PhD.
Okay, so it must be the higher level studies. Now, I want you to tell me, at that point, was University of Nairobi the way it is currently?
No.
Why? Someone can explain from the paragraph what we are told? Yes.
So according to her, it is based on that paragraph where they are saying the university was not very relevant to the society. You know, when a university is starting, you just have courses there, people enrolling, going in for studies, but the relevance towards what the people need around them is not there. There is also something else in paragraph 1 that tells us that the university was just starting. Yes.
The University of Nairobi founded itself with a vacancy.
It found itself with a vacancy, meaning there was no one to serve that role. And again, they have told us the University of East Africa had been dismantled, so that we have Kenya getting its own university, Uganda getting its own, and now which one came up in Uganda? Kampala. And what about in Tanzania? Chuo Kikuu cha Dar es Salaam, sikiko? So it had to be dismantled, and therefore every country had to come up with a university. So in Kenya, the very first university that came up was the University of Nairobi. All right. So we are being told that because there was no one to fill that vacancy, what happened to him? Because you don't get into a university after having your PhD and you become a senior lecturer. You take some time there. Just like even in teaching, someone who has taught 2 years cannot be equal to me. I've taught for how many years? 16. So when I go to an interview, obviously they'll consider where your experience. They look at how many years have you taught. So what happened for them to make Kimani a senior lecturer? What did they do there? They have written there. Yes.
Because he studied at the University of Oxford.
Is that the reason? If somebody studies at, let's say currently at University of Eldoret, another one studies at maybe Oxford or Stanford, do they become better than whoever studied in Kenya?
No.
Yes. They have told us there. They have said they raised his entry point. That means there is some sort of corruption, right?
Yes.
Yeah, whereby you are going for an interview, you don't qualify to be at that level, but they give you that because they don't have another person. So, you know, there are levels. Like they say, how many years have you taught as a professor? How many students who have masters have you supported to finish their research? What about those who are doing PhD? That's how in the university you go up. The more students graduate in your hands, especially masters and PhD, the more grade you have. Also, how many seminar papers have you presented? Like, the more presentations you do, the better. Then also, how many books have you written? If you have not written any book and another person has written more, they have more points. So that's how growth in the university is. So though Professor Kimani had not done that, he was raised, his entry points were raised. So which means there was some corruption there, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's continue to paragraph 3. Paragraph 3, what do we see there? He has already introduced the aspect of relevance of the University of Nairobi to the community, and it becomes what it is. Did everybody like his effort? How do you know that? How do you know? What has been written there? Yes? Yeah. Yeah, they have called it a war. Is a war something comfortable? No, it means you are introducing something and people are not ready for it. So it becomes a war. And then they have told us that most of his colleagues thought that he was what? He was too radical, and they ridiculed him for being simple-minded. You know, when you start something new, people will say So what is he trying to show us? Does he think he's the only one? You know, they'll even fight it. People are very uncomfortable with change or the success of others. I don't know. Is this class like that? Like if you see some other person doing very well, you don't feel good. We have that character here. Like if they keep reading someone as number one always, then you are sitting there but you are feeling so bad. Why? Why? Do you have that aspect in you? People will not accept that they have, but there is that common aspect. Like someone is called always with the class teacher, come. Do you feel happy all the time? Or when someone is a prefect and they're the only ones who are going out, do you feel happy about it? Or second share, all the time in the kitchen. Come, you are so disciplined. Come, get more. Why? Why? Why do you feel bad about it? Yes, why not me? So you feel, why not me? Yes. All right. So it's human nature then. So we see in this story that most of the colleagues that were working with Kimani were not happy. They thought you are being too radical, you know. You kind of raising so much. Why are you pressing so much? Because he has finished the war on relevance. Now, which next war did he begin? Yeah, he wanted the University of Nairobi to become an element of change, that which will cause change in the country. All right? Okay. Did he give up? No. What suggests that? Yes. He did not care because he was focused towards it. He did not care. Now let's get to the next page, the last paragraph of that. So, did he make any success away from becoming the senior lecturer at the university and also succeeding in his war of relevance?
Yes.
What exactly is that? Yes. In high school, we used to have these things, but there are some schools. I normally see St. Joseph. I've seen, there's a school in Nairobi. I don't know whether it's not Kenya High. But there's a school that they normally do the beauty pageant competition. There are some few schools. I've also seen Musoli Girls also does that. Yeah, Tigoi. So we have schools which do beauty pageant competition in term 2, whereby you are made to come in school and you create beauty pageant clothes, not from material, but from whatever is available, whether they'll be leaves, whether they are papers, whether they are bottles, whether they are, pads, the boxes, the covers, not the pads, the pad itself.
Yes.
Where? Which school? Last year. How do you use a pad? Because that one will not be, I won't give you marks if you use a pad, because a pad itself, how much is a box of pads? So that one you are using a very expensive thing to make, you are not supposed to be. When you are in high school, you are supposed to use the cheapest material possible, and also it should be decent. But when you wear a pad, really, what are you trying to communicate? Like I've seen most schools, they do even the papers, the milk coverings, maybe the cover for the loaf of bread, the carrier bags, the nails, nests. Oh, nets. But the schools do not allow mosquito nets. If you use a net, I'll not give you marks, because nets have been known to burn schools. So I will not give you marks unless those people who are looking, they were just looking and they don't know the marking schemes for these things. But if you have a net, I'll not give you marks because nets have been decampaign. You are not supposed to have them because they have been known to burn dormitories. So you are supposed to use leaves. I've seen like St. Monica and the St. Joseph's. Girls make very beautiful stuff from just natural things that are around, things you cannot imagine, and things that we don't use or they are not even illegal in school. They also don't do any kind of effect. The shoes they make on some things, they make some for the tiari, they use something to do that. So just what we have around, even the papers from our books, as long as they have been used and dumped, you make use of that. So we realized that Asia Amondi was a beauty pageant, or rather a beauty queen. Have you ever watched Beauty Queens? Which university? Well, who is Miss University by now in Kenya? From which university? Huh? Hey, don't watch. You don't watch. You are supposed to know Miss Beauty Kenya and then Miss Beauty Africa University because they compete from Kenyan universities to the world universities. So they go even compete with the Indian and different other countries. And that was done this year. So you are supposed to be aware. Now, such kind of people, they normally have outstanding beauty and courage because some people are beautiful, but they are shy, right? Yes. So for you to really decide to go to beauty competition, you must be very courageous, at the same time beautiful in an African way, and also focused, so that you have the potential to answer questions about trending aspects. And I'm surprised in this school, most students don't want to know trending. Why do you not want to learn about the current politics, the current matters that are happening in the country, even in America, what is happening, who is the current president of America, what about the European countries, maybe what are the states in it? You are supposed to know these things because if you want to compete in such a level, you must know that. Then currently we have also beauty pageants who go to the level of not beauty alone, but on the impact on the society. We've seen those people who are sponsoring. For example, those who love handling women matters or men matters and encourage maybe boy child to focus and such issues, or environmental care. Yeah. So when you see that Kimani has married a beauty queen in the university, he realized that he had really achieved, right? Yes. And they married during a rainy day. There was a lot of thunder and lightning. I normally ask a lot of students, when you are having a wedding, and during the wedding there's a lot of thunder, rainfall, and lightning, what does it signify? Yes? Blessings. In the rain, in the thunder, or in the lightning? Rain. But this one had rain, it had lightning, it had thunder. What did it signify? Many blessings. One. There was bad omen in what? Rain, thunder, or lightning? Thunder and lightning, right? Yeah. Because how many people are happy with thunder and lightning around them? You will be scared. In fact, will you even say, if the pastor asks you, will you take this man to live with in happiness and sadness, in sickness and life, in till death do you apart? Will you? And then the lightning is boo, 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 boo. Will you be able to respond? No. So we were really discussing that part even with some teachers, and some were saying, that one symbolizes, blessing. Then I asked them, how many of you can stand in a lightning and thunder? How many? Even when you are seated, you want to fall or cover yourself. How many there? And even the impact of thunderstorm and lightning. We have seen so many people dying, so many animals being deformed, the trees being dried. So this one Though a blessing through rain, there was also a bad omen in the thunder and lightning. And we'll see later in the story why it was a bad omen. So he now became so happy, gratified and fulfilled. He knew that he had achieved both academically and socially, right? Because in life we don't want to only achieve academic. We want, if you are so learned but you don't have money, can you really be so happy? And we'll see later in the story what happens. If you are so rich but you don't have a family, will you be happy? If you are so rich and you don't have, let's say a man, and you don't have a wife, but you are leading a university, the best in the country, will you be happy? No. Yeah, so he felt gratified because he had acquired education. Then he had been able to marry a beauty queen in a university. Then apart from that, he had also made it to transform the university. Because the impact we make, if we are able to change something somewhere, maybe our relative who was poor, they become rich through us, or we change even our home, it was mud houses, now we have cement, it becomes an impact that cannot be forgotten. Now, they are saying, had anyone told him this happiness would one day end, as it did, he would have laughed himself upside down. Most times when we are making it, achieving, we forget that life is not about achievement alone. Sometimes there is achievement, then there come a downfall. So that is what we should be aware of so that we can prevent maybe the downfall. We have many minutes from now. We read the next part. 10 minutes, yeah. Then 10 minutes are enough to read something here. Yeah, now we can read the next part. Someone is asking here, what is shalom? Shalom, the Catholics. What is shalom in English? May God bless you. Yes? Be with you. God be with you. Okay. Someone was asking you, what is shalom in English? Okay, let's continue. You know, when we're doing live stream, sometimes you find people watching you from America, India, Slovenia, Germany, and all that. So someone is checking here and asking. And I'm just doing the recording of whatever we are doing, just in case maybe there's someone who is interested to do. Most times I do record those lessons because sometimes when I teach some people during holidays, like over the holiday, I taught some students from Busia, Mias, and the other side. I was teaching from the other end. And sometimes I just tell them, go look at our lesson for this, in case they have not understood a given chapter. So that's why I have to sometimes record. And live stream saves you from keeping a lot of information in the phone. And like when you take a video, then later on you have to edit and post it. So let's go on to read the next part.
A global economic recession came. Africa was not spared. Jobs and incomes vanished. To get out of businesses, Africa had to make changes. Changes. They were everywhere. Donors were the forces behind them. Tuli, Professor Kimani told his daughter, Tuli owed that name to Tunisia, believed to be her country of conception. Her father had gone there for a conference, her mother for the ride. What the donors did to me was to gang up on Africa. Professor Kimani said before he took a lick of his ice cream. He and his daughter were cooling off at some low-end restaurant in central Nairobi. Look here, you Africa, the donor said, with one voice. You will get no more aid from us unless you change this, that and the other. Understand? What did Africa do? Tuni asked. She was deep into her second ice cream. Of course Africa did as told. He said, mind you, the donors did well to handcuff. Were it not for them, we will still be reciting foolish teachings about home instead of importing foreign models. He took another lick of his ice cream and grimaced. Why, he wondered, had no whiskey invented warm ice cream yet? You are not enjoying your ice cream, Dad, are you? Toonie asked. It's too cold, he told her. Then he put it aside and continued. Sadly, great changes only catalyze excess. When at last they come, people go on a rampage to make up for time they feel they have lost. Nowhere was this rampage more evident than in Parliament, the very institutions that implement change. Nowhere was excess more revolting than in a coup that a Parliament stage.
We said that word is in a coup. Nowhere was excess more revolting than in a coup that a Parliament staged. Okay, let's proceed.
The Parliament staged a coup. Yes, and they staged it successfully. Look, the year I started teaching, members of Parliament, MPs, still earn less. I repeat, less than professors did. Now each MP rakes in up to 100 times. Repeat, 100 times the income a professor makes. It gets worse. Earnings by professors still consist of salaries, which are taxable, whereas earnings by MPs are no longer deemed salaries and have no cease to be taxable. Both the rise in income by MPs and the exemption of that income from taxation came with the coup. I thought the days of coup were over. Ha ha ha. Think again, Toonie. Not only do we still have coups by soldiers, now we also have coups by lawmakers. These latter coups are even more lethal because they are legal. If it's legal for lawmakers to raise their wages as they please, yes, it is. Why is that? Because legal only means permitted by those who make the laws. Make the laws address their income. Legal does not mean moral or even normal. It does not. No. To seal their power against reversal. All that MPs need to do now is to amend the existing constitution by inserting it into one tiny clause. Since God Himself cannot lower the wages MPs give to themselves, then neither can union MPs. Is that possible? Absolutely. After that has happened, the coup that brought these new wages about becomes irreversible. So you see, parliaments can be even worse than armies. Truly big and comprehending. Worse than armies? She asked. She had her mother's eyes, wings of an important butterfly, pure black in the middle, pure white at the margins, ringed with linked long eyelashes. Whenever she blinked, her eyelashes fluttered as if they were about to fly her away. Dad, what do you mean? The eyelashes were fluttering. You see, Toonie, soldiers could stage coups. True. However, since they were not lawmakers, they couldn't legalize their action. In other words, they only broke the law, nothing more. Now MPs do more. They break the law and legislate that breach as a new law. That's what I mean. But when elections come, the electoral goes out, right? Yes, just as when rain comes, water washes off the spots of a leopard. Dad, I am Then listen to me. New parliaments are just like the old. No, they are more like the old. They raise their salaries more than the old. The long and short of it, truly, is that nothing has really changed. Change in Africa has only replaced tyranny by presidents with tyranny by MPs. He goes to think. Then he resumed. Come to think of it, the French have always had it right. They say, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Actually, we have had it right all along as well. We say, msitu mpya nyanyani wale wale. New forests, old monkeys. Ask truly. Correct. Dad, have you considered going into politics? Me going into politics? No, politics isn't for me. Teaching is.
All right, so that is the second episode. It ends there. And we need to discuss the first two paragraphs or three. Maybe by then, lunchtime will be here. Oh my God. Anyway, even though the bell has gone, let's just discuss the first part so that we may not go without understanding that. What happens on page 22? Anyone to quickly answer so that by the time we are going, we have gained something from there. Yeah.
A global economic recession comes and Africa will not spread jobs and incomes vanish.
Do we know what it means by global economic recession? It is when there is a lot of, like we can't access money. And even when we are doing business, we are making losses than profits. You realize that even when you're trying to build, you can't finish. When economic times are so difficult. And this happened in America, of course, but it had to affect even Africa because sometimes we rely on their donations. Sometimes our companies are, the investors of companies in Kenya come from America and all that. So it really affected the world. I think you could understand when Corona came, right? Yes. You remember what happened? A lot of businesses went down, tourism and all that. So that is what we call economic recession. Now, if it happens to be global, it is more serious. So like the Americans stopped supporting Kenyan, businesses and all that. So we are told that there are a lot of changes that happened and donors were making Africa to do some changes. If they don't, then they will not be supported. All right? Anything else we learn on that page, then we leave so that the rest we'll discuss later. Because we have a remedial in the evening. Yes? Yeah. I hope it won't be raining because it looks like it might rain then. Yeah. Yeah, so Professor Kimani had a daughter known as Tuni. Why is the daughter known as Tuni? Jacinta Mweni, you're being called? Absent. So why is the daughter called Tuni? Yes. Yeah, she was born from their visitor. She was conceived, not even born, when they had gone to a tour in Tunisia, a conference kind of. So we are told then that as they are discussing, the father is trying to make the daughter understand why Africa is how it is currently. So we'll proceed from there later. Have a nice lunch.
Same to you, Madam.
Bye. You are not sure where you are heading to? Eh? Let's go if you are going. Or you don't want to go at the same time.